What is happening, wonderful people? So last night I went to go see the new Jack Quaid, Sophie Thatcher thriller film, Companion. And I had the plot pulled up right here, but I am not going to read the plot. I know I always do for each review, for each movie I do. But I'm going to be very careful on what I say and how I phrase things when I talk about this movie. Because there are spoilers in this film. There are twists, and the marketing team made a very stupid and weird decision to put that in the trailer and put it on the poster. So, not going to read the plot. If you want to read the plot, go read it online. If you want to watch the trailer and look at the poster, do that. But let's talk about it. So first and foremost, like I do with every review, I'm going to talk about the positives first and the negatives next. I always like to be positive, but when I need to be negative, I am going to be negative. So, Companion is a film that I was not really looking forward to. I had no expectations for it. Sophie Thatcher is like the horror queen right now. She was in Boogeyman, which I really enjoyed. She was in Heretic, which I really enjoyed. Didn't love like everyone else, but I really enjoyed. And Jack Quaid is Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid is so fun. He's great in The Boys from what I've seen. Like clips and all that. And I can't wait to see him in Novocaine. Don't have big expectations for that, but it looks fun. So overall, they're great, So I was walking into this film, and I walked out having a blast. I had an absolute blast, and my theater was loving it. So let's talk about the positives first. Starting off with the positives, just like I said, Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher are phenomenal in this film. They don't necessarily have like a great dynamic in this film. Towards the beginning, they kind of do, but with what happens in this film, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the film. Again, I'm not really trying to give anything away. I'm going to try to be as careful as possible in this film, as careful as I can be without saying too much. But what happens in this film, their dynamic slowly, but towards the beginning of their dynamic is great, and they give great performances in this film. They really do. And the other actors in this film do as well. There's one of the actors in this, I think it's from Smile 2, I'm pretty sure. It's from like the beginning, I think. But he was really great. I think his name's actually I have it pulled up right here. Lucas Gage, I think. He was good in this. He was good. So overall, I think the performances were great with this type of film. What we were given, what they were given on paper, they were great in this film. And it is very, very suspenseful, thrilling, and overall the film is just a fun film. It's a film you need to see with an audience. The theater I was in was full. It was full, and there weren't very many reactions, but the film is funny at times. It's legit funny with that dry, witty humor that you see in these type of horror films, and there weren't very over-the-top many laughs in my theater, but there was a good amount of laughing. Like, I was laughing, not like belly laughing, not like till you can't breathe, but there are some legit dry, witty, funny moments in here that you'll be like, I get that, that worked for me, that's a lot of fun, there was. And the writing and dialogue is written to perfection. Like, it's like the type of writing that keeps you engaged, and it's the type of dialogue that keeps you engaged, and you're like, oh, I want to know what happens next. I like the interactions between these characters. Maybe not the best writing and dialogue we've seen in movies before, maybe not the best dialogue and writing we've seen in a horror movie before, but it's enough to keep you engaged, and it's enough to be like, I like the interactions between these characters. It's really interesting and engaging, and one thing I will say about this film, not so much the sound design, but like the sound as, I guess you could call it sound design, but the sound as a whole. The sound as a whole in this film, and I was sitting so there was like a row of seats right the row like right in front of the seat. Right in front of the screen. So I was like the last row, the first row, and maybe it was just because I was right there. Maybe that's the case, but The sound design was great in this film. It's not Furiosa level sound design. It's not Dune Part 2 level sound design, but it's for what they were going for in this film. I really enjoyed the sound design, and the soundtrack is pretty cool. There's not very many songs in this, but the soundtrack they had was really catchy, and it kept you engaged in the movie as well. It really did. And there are 2 twists in this film. The first twist that they put in the second trailer and on the poster, so I'm not going to say what it is because it is already out there. But if you have been staying away from the marketing, and I recommend you do, I really recommend you stay away from it. But if you have been, go into this movie blind. I'm not going to say what it is. But the thing with this twist is there's 2 twists. Both of the twists work because both of them, when they happen, you're like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all. Now, the first twist didn't surprise me because I'm someone who saw the trailers and I'm someone who saw the poster. So the first twist didn't do anything for me because it was still a great twist. But I saw that in the trailer, if that makes sense. Now, the second twist in the movie, I did not see coming at all. I didn't. And when it happened, I was like, it's kind of this, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say something, but I'm not even going to say that. I was really close, but I'm not going to. When that second twist happens, I should say, it actually works. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of formulaic, and it's kind of, shouldn't even really be saying that, honestly. I'm trying to be careful, but it works. And I think the twist overall for what we were given in this film, for what they were going for, it works. And I really think that the pacing's tight. The pacing is definitely tight in this film. And the one thing about this film is it doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's perfect for what it is, and it does a good job of, I guess you could say it's self-aware. Maybe it's self-aware in its own merit, in its own right, and maybe it's the same story we've seen before, but for what they were doing in this film, for what they were going for, it keeps you engaged and it works for what it is, and it's like one of those things. If Megan and Terminator had a baby, that's legit what it is. It's literally if Megan and Terminator had a baby. That's what this film is, and overall, it was shot well. It has that dry, witty humor. The twists work. The performances are great. And overall, I really enjoyed this film, but I do have a few negatives. I don't have very many, but I have a few, so let's talk about them. So really, I only have 2 negatives. These are the only 2 I could think of, and I maybe have more. I talked about all my positives. Maybe I have more positives too. This is all I could gather, but the one thing I have to say about this film is, like with most horror movies, and maybe with like other movies as well, it does feel very paint by numbers at times. It does feel very predictable. You have seen the story before, but it doesn't feel very paint by numbers the whole time. A few times, but it doesn't really feel like that the whole time, if that makes sense. And maybe it drags a little bit in the third act. Like, I don't know if that was just me, that might just be me, but the first act and second act, it flew by. It did. In the third act, it just felt kind of bogged down, and it felt like it dragged a little bit, and it was like just very slow burn through the third act, just very slow. And I was like, I wasn't bored. I actually was not bored at all, but I could feel it being slow, continually being slow, and I was like, oh, I don't know, we need to pick this up. Again, I was not bored, but it just felt very slow in the third act, and really all the negatives I have. I don't have very many. So yeah, overall, Companion is a really good January film, and it's another really good film for 2025. I overall really enjoyed the film, and I know a lot of people are really enjoying it. It releases in theaters tomorrow fully, and there might be some more advanced screenings around wherever y'all live. I know there's some in Austin today. I really enjoyed Companion. I really did. And if you're looking for a good thriller, a good horror film, a good Jack Quaid film, a good Sophie Thatcher film, go watch Companion. It is a lot of fun. See it with the crowd. My crowd was enjoying it. I was enjoying it. I recommend this film. I'm going to give Companion a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a lot of fun.
I like it a lot.
That'll wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. We are at 727 subs. Next big milestone, 800. We're reaching that quickly. And then 9, the big one is 1K. Be on that as well. And if you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And again, let's talk about down below in the comments. What did y'all think of Companion? If y'all saw it already, did y'all like it? Did y'all not like it? If y'all are seeing it tomorrow, opening day, opening night, are y'all planning on going to watch it? Are y'all not? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, my wonderful people. Cheers.